So hey, you want to get your ammo can to look like this? Your MTM Mini? Stick around and watch this video. Show you how to wire up the top part in this video and get it to look like this. Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to wire the top part of this box, and we're going to start with these terminals and these switches. I just basically put some clips on here and twisted the wire on this LED bulb, our LED indicator bulb. But the first thing I want to talk about before we get into this is these switches. So let's take a close look at these switches and how we're going to wire these up. Okay, here's our switch. This has like a binary symbols on it where the 1 is on, the 0 is off. It's a water resistant type switch. On the bottom you'll notice we have 3 connectors. We have a copper / gold color one, we have a silver one, and another silver one. And again, these aren't all the same, so depending on what switch you have, you need to find a wiring diagram or figure out on your own what's what. But in this particular switch, the gold is negative, so this goes to our negative terminal block. This one, the middle one goes to our battery, so this would go to our fuse block, and this one all the way on the end, are on the 0, and this one will go to our accessory. So again, one more time, negative terminal, positive terminal on the battery, and this one, last one, goes to our accessory. So let's go inside the box and get this rolling. You're going to need something to support the lid. In this case I have a few hockey pucks. I've got them stacked up. I'm going to flip it open, and here we go. Okay, this is the inside or the back end of our positive negative lug nuts. So this has 2 sets of nuts and lock washers, so we're going to just remove these. Like that. Take these out. And I've twisted the wire, put some leads on it. We're going to put the positive on the positive side, the negative on the negative side, under these nuts, and tighten it down. Okay, so here's our LED light. The red wire is going to our positive terminal right there. The black wire is going to our negative terminal right there. And now we're going to take about a 5-inch piece of wire and install these connectors on here. These connectors are, well, this is a multi-pack. I couldn't get the connectors I needed, so this has 1/4 inch, 0.187, and 0.110. These are the 0.187 connectors. I got these at Menards. I had to buy 3 of them. They're kind of pricey. Next time around, I think I'm just going to buy, if I'm going to use these type of switches and where I need the 0.187 size female connector, I'm going to buy these in bulk. But anyway, for the purpose of this video, these will work. So this is our gold lead, our brass lead. That's our negative. So we're going to slip one on this way. And we have another lead on the other side, and this one's going to go right here. And I think what I'm going to do is actually slip it through right there and put that on here like that. Okay, that's temporary. Now I'm going to install another similar lead and about maybe 20 inches of wire again, and I'm going to snake it through all of these, starting over here. I'm going to run that through that way, going to run it through here, like this. Okay, and this particular wire right here, we're going to connect it here. We're going to put the washer down. We're going to put a nut down over it. We're going to tighten it down, and this lead is going to go to our negative terminal block. Okay, so here we have our negative lead going on to the negative terminal here, and we have another lead that's going to be going all the way down to our negative terminal block. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take another 5-inch piece of wire. This is going to be 16 gauge. We're going to put our connector on it. The far connector right here is the one that goes to our accessory. So we're going to plug that in, and then we're going to run this to the positive terminal right there. So let's install that. Okay, so this very last lead right here is now going to the positive terminal on another 5-inch piece. We've tightened that down, and the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of wire that's going to be about 15 inches long with a 1/4-inch female connector on here, and our point, what was this, 187 connector right here. We're going to snake that through, right through here, like that. I know this isn't very elegant, but here we go. I'm going to run it through here. And I think we're just going to pull it up like this a little bit. And we're going to connect that to our middle connector. And this is going to go, this middle lead right here, this one is going to go to our fuse block. So that's what that's going to look like. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to flip the box over. I want to show you something real quick. After you've tightened down the wires on the inside, undo these counterclockwise. This one's not really good, huh? Okay, here we go. There we go. And just bring these up as far as they'll go. And what we want to do is, as you're tightening these on the inside, they have a tendency to move. So what we want to do, can you see that like that? We want to have these kind of facing straight up and down, so we're going to rotate that a little bit like that. We're going to take this one on this side. I'm going to try and grab it and rotate it like that, so they look like that. Okay, that way you can just slip a wire in. You're not going to be slipping a wire in sideways where you can touch the other terminal. They're just going to go straight up that way. Okay, so let's go back to the inside now. We can tighten these down. Okay, so here is our negative terminal block wire that we're running all the way down through here and down through here, and we loop it down, and it's connected right there. So that's connected. Then we're going to take our positive wire, which is this. This is our positive. The middle one goes to the fuse block. And we're going to run that through and take it, and we're going to connect it right here, let's say. Okay? It could be anywhere, but this seems like a good spot. So we're going to put that in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take like a 9-inch piece of 12 gauge. We're going to put a female connector on one side and a loop connector on the other. I am going to install the one side on this terminal right here, and the other one is going to slip on the battery's positive terminal. So I'm going to put that on there. So now I've installed this 12 gauge wire connector to this terminal, which in turn will go through these fuses once we install the fuses, and then out to our accessories. And this portion of it, this female connector, we are going to install on the positive battery lead, or positive battery terminal. So here we go. And I got to snake that down a little bit. Here we go. Alright, there we go. And you'll notice we have a bright LED glowing. We have no fuse in here. And what else is interesting about this is if we flip the lid back, we have this light glowing as well. So let's test this out. The switch is on, the switch is lit. Well, let's put a load on here and see what happens. So up in front here, these are the leads to my CB radio, which is right here. So let's turn the switch on, and you can see we're getting a light here, and we're getting a light here. And the CB radio is off, and there's no fuse in there, okay? But if we turn the radio on, and we look down, everything went out. Okay, so I'm going to shut the radio off. Okay, shut that switch off. Now we're going to install a fuse, and this is our positive. We're going to install a fuse like right there. This is going to be a 5 amp fuse. We're going to close this down again. Now we're going to turn the switch on. Okay, so we got that switch on. We got our indicator light on, telling us that we're getting juice to both of these terminals. We go up to the radio, we switch it on, and what do you know? The radio is on. Okay, so that's the first switch. Everything works. We're going to shut it down, and we're going to install the next 2 switches and finish this up. We're very near the end of our project now, and if you'll recall, remember these? This is the one that we labeled strobe. We're just going to snip this off, get rid of that, and we're going to run this wire up under here like that, and through here. Let's pop that up a little bit. There we go. That's good right about there. And we're going to pop it through here. We're going to put a connector on it and connect it right here. This is our accessory. This is the one going to the fuse block, and then this is our negative, of course. So I'm going to put a connector on here, pop it on, and we'll go on to the next one. Okay, and if you'll recall this one, this is our LED light up in front. We're going to snip that off. We're going to run the wire underneath here. Now you can run these wires any way you want. If you want to run your wires, your black wires through here you can. You can do this any way you like, really. I mean, there's no set way, whatever works for you. I'm just going to pull that through. There we go. Get it like right about there. I'm going to try to keep these wires together here, like about that far. And let's see, how much do I need? I think if I snip it right there, that should be good. Maybe a little more. Okay, so right about there, we're just kind of guesstimating. We're going to snip off the excess. I'm going to put a connector on here and install this to our accessory terminal. Okay, so now we have our strobe accessory lead wired up. We have our front LED accessory lead wired up. The next thing that remains is the middle lead right here. This is going to our fuse block. So I'm just going to take a length of wire, just run it through here. I can fit it in here. Now let's try it this way. I can't see it. There it is. We're going to pull that through. We might not be able to fit another one through here. And I'm just going to guesstimate it. It should be like maybe like right about there. Maybe take a little bit more out. Like right there perhaps. A little bit less. I'm thinking right here. So, well actually let's go in a little farther. There we go. So now this is going to go to the fuse block, and I'm not going to do anything with this other end yet, and I'll show you why. Take a little more slack out. So maybe a little bit more slack. There we go. I think like right about there. Okay, so we're going to put a connector on here and then adjust the wire back and forth until it looks about right. Alright, so now we have installed this cable on the center pin, which is going to our fuse block, And if we look at our fuse block, we're just kind of guesstimate it and try to match it up with this one. And maybe we're going to cut it like right about here. So we'll cut this one. Alright, and now we're going to run our last power lead going to the fuse block. And I'm just going to run it through here. I think we don't have any more room in here. Let me see, do we have any more room? Do you think, I don't know if I can squeeze one more through here. Let me try it this way. It would be ideal if we could, but I'm thinking we might not be able to. Oh, hey, how about that? Look at that. And we're able to get one more through there. I'm going to have to probably pinch it. And this lead is going to connect to the middle connector, which is again going to our fuse block. Let me see if I can pull that out a little bit. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Amazing good. We're going to loop it over somewhat and then adjust the, just pull it back out once we get the connector on there and installed in that center pin, which would be right here. I know you guys can see that. Okay, so now we've installed that wire through our last switch, and I am just going to pull that slightly outward so we can get it to kind of match up with this one. That's pretty good right about there. And now we're going to take, or just loop it under here a little bit, and we're going to match it up with this wire because both of these are going to go to one lead. These are just our LED lights, so I'm going to put one connector on here, install it on the fuse block, and that'll be it. So let me cut this real quick. Sure we got it just about right. I think like right about there, that should be good. I'm going to strip both these leads and I'm going to put a yellow blade connector, 1/4 inch blade connector on there. So these two are going to be combined in one. Okay, and here we go. These two leads now for our LED lights, both the flashing LED light and the front LED light, have now been combined to one lead, and we're just going to take that and we're going to slide it in right there. So now that's on our fuse block, that's on our terminal block. Very last thing we're going to do is we're going to take some black wire and run one wire here, one wire here, run those through and attach those to our negative terminal block. Okay, so now I have like maybe a 4-foot length of black wire. I'm going to run that through here. I'm not going to cut it on the other end, just run it through, and that lead is going to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to put a connector on it and install it. Okay, so there it is, and we're going to probably adjust the length a little bit. We're going to take another piece of uncut wire, run it through here, pull it out slightly. Let's see here. Probably go better if it went outside of these. Like that, that seems to work better. And I'm going to install a connector on this lead and put it on this lead right here, which is our brass gold color lead. You can see that right there. I'm going to install this, and then all we have to do is snake these wires through and attach them to our negative terminal block, and we're ready to test our box. So these are our negative wires right here and here, and I decided to combine them in a larger 10 to 12 gauge connector. Since these are only running LED lights, this will be fine, and it'll just kind of save space on the negative terminal block. And the next thing I'm going to do with these is I'm going to run them under here and here and install them to the terminal block, and we're ready at that point to add some more fuses, which I'll do. I'll show you that, and we can test our box. Okay, so now we have installed our negative leads right here. We have one fuse in there. We're going to add the rest of the fuses right here. So I'm just going to pop those in. Okay, super duper. We're going to close the lid, making sure that we don't cinch any of our wires. Going to bring them forward a little bit, clip it down, and we're ready to test our box. So here's our ammo can battery box. It's ready for testing. We're going to test our first switch, which we tested earlier. Hey, it lights up. Our indicator light lights up, indicating that we have juice going to both our terminals. So those are energized. We're going to flick this switch right now, which is our strobe. Hey, our strobe is on. Look at that, magical, right? And finally, our last, which is the green switch over here, we're going to turn that on. That should be our front LED light. Our front LED light is not working. Let's shut everything off real quick. Let's go here. We have a power indicator light, and we're going to hit the switch here on our USB. And this has its own switch, so we didn't need to wire anything extra. And here we go. This is our battery indicator. We know that we have power to our USBs, and we also have power to this 12-volt cigarette lighter connector. So, the last thing we're going to do now is just do a little bit of wire management, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. And this project's done. Here we go. Pretty cool. I didn't think it would actually, be this complicated as far as functionality. I thought it was just going to be a simple box with just these, but it actually turned out to be a whole lot more, and it looks pretty cool. Doesn't have a homemade look. It looks more like it's custom made, and that's kind of what we're going for. We don't want stuff to look homemade. We want it to look custom made. So here's what a little bit of inexpensive split loom and some multicolored wire ties can do for a project. But this is it. This is all ready to go. It actually turned out a lot better than I expected. I never really thought this box would evolve to this point, but it did. It's a full-featured mini ammo can battery box. I don't think there's anything else like this on YouTube. And hey, if you like this video, please subscribe. Hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it.